Okay, so I have shown you this command meter, and I'm going to show you what this command can do now, this notch. Okay, so imagine that we have this beam here. I have extended that beam, so originally it was like this. Okay, um, let's extend this beam in this direction. And as you can see here, we have a connection, but there is a gap between this one and that one. This gap in the reality cannot happen. And Revit offers us the solution to see if it's feasible. So can we connect this and this? So let's find out by using this notch. Okay. There's another, if you go to ARC, no, if you select this, there's a notch here in this menu, this modify. Here we have notch, but I don't recommend you do this. Sometimes it works, something it doesn't. So you have to go to steel and use this option. It's more reliable. First, we have to select the two beams we have to connect, and then we have to go to steel and notch and see what happens. Okay, so the first thing we have to understand is that we can notch this one into this one or that one into that one. So by default, we have done this. This is not what we wanted to do. We wanted this beam to be continuous, and then we have to adapt the geometry of this so that we can connect them. To do this, we have to control this dot here, this blue dot. So change the order of connected elements. This is 1 and this is 2. If we make it the other way around, if we put it here, here, now this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, so this is the main. So Revit understands that this is the one that has to be continuous and this is the one that has to be cut. Okay, so here we have this perfect solution. And now with these parametric tools, we can select this and we can send this to the workshop. And if they have one of those machines, they can exactly cut the shape of that beam to adjust that beam to this one. Okay. Would I do that with all the beams? And not really, especially because here we don't see this. Okay, so we can, if we cover this, if we have a roof here in the Revit model, we don't see that. But if we're working with a structural engineering firm, this is very convenient because here we can see the actual shape that this beam should have, connecting this and that one. Okay. Now, can we do this with the rest of the beams? Can we do this with a component of a beam system like this one? Let's find out. We can always select this and this. We can select steel, notch, see what happens. Okay, so in this case, it's good because this is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, I'll do it again. I'm going to select this beam, this one, steel, notch. Yeah, so you see this is number 1, this is number 2. What would happen if I move this blue dot here to number 2? Okay, so this happens. This is, we don't want that, but just with this blue dot, we control what the number 1 is and number 2 is. So I add 2, and this is it. Can we do this with different beams at the same time? It would be great. Let's find out. No, not really. Okay, we are demanding too much of Revit, so we have to go one by one. Is it worth it? It's up to you. I'm not asking you to do this, but I'm asking you to understand how this works. So in the event that you end up working for a structural engineering company, you can do that. What happens here, this is interesting because here we have these two beams. We have used meter to create this connection, that's fine. And what if we use notch to connect these two beams to this one? Let's find out. Still notch. As you see, it's not easy. Okay, so we have to figure out how to do it, because by default it doesn't work. If we extend this beam here, now we have an intersection. Probably if we select these two beams, something will happen. Okay, so we can go to steel, notch, and this is number 2, this is number 1. I want the other way around. Okay, that works. So we don't have to select both. We have to select just one and make this one the number 1 and this one number 2. I'm going to do it again with this, for example. Okay, so you see here, apparently it's good, but it's not, because this continues here. So I select this one, that one. I select steel, notch. This is not what I want, because I want this to be number 1 and this to be number 2. So I change this blue dot here. And yeah, this is what I want. You see that now we have this shape and we have cut this beam, and it's adapting to that. So if we want to be accurate, and if we don't want to see this things, it's not very good. Remember, select the first beam, the second beam, steel, notch. If this is not what we want to do, we have to move this blue dot to make this number 1 and the other one number 2. And now it works. Okay. So show me that you can do that. You don't have to do it in all the beams, but at least you have to show me that you have applied meter and the notch. The meter, it's very easy, because all the corners should be perfect in your drawing. The notch, well, just show me, especially with the main beams. You don't have to do it with a beam system components, but with this main beam, you should be able, and this is interesting, showing the meter and the notch in this complex intersection here.